Mahomes holding into the pocket, scrambling to the right side, still scrambling. Now he throws it late. He's throwing for Tyreek Hill. He's got the catch. He's at the 20, at the 25-yard line. Now inside the 15 and out of bounds, down at the Raven 12. Unreal.
I think I'm still buzzing from that play way back in 2018. Outside of the playoffs, that was probably my favorite play of the Patrick Mahomes era so far, and it helped the Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens. Hey everybody, and welcome into our game preview this week, presented by Crown Royal. My name is Matt McMullen, and this week we're joined by one of the greatest running backs of all time, now an awesome analyst for NFL Network, talking about Maurice Jones-Drew. MJD, what's up, man?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well. Last time I saw you was at training camp a few months ago. It was you, Clyde, and Coach Bieniemy standing next to each other for a photo, trying to figure out who was tallest. Who won that, by the way?
By far, I'm the tallest. But they, Clyde had on cleats, Bieniemy had on like thick sole shoes, and I had on sandals, right?
Yeah.
And I think they had me by like half an inch. So if we all were flat-footed, I'm for sure going to tower over them. I just know I believe in my height and my ability, so it was all good.
Yeah, you got to have confidence in that. I want to ask you about Clyde here in a moment, but first I want to ask you about Patrick Mahomes and how he factors into this matchup, because this is one of the biggest questions coming into this game is, will the Ravens blitz? Because the Ravens blitz more than anyone, highest blitz percentage in the NFL last year. They blitzed Patrick Mahomes on 49% of his dropbacks in their matchup last season, but there's no better quarterback against the blitz than Patrick Mahomes. When he was blitzed last year in that Ravens game, he completes 19 to 23 passes for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was incredible. So we'll see what the Ravens choose to do defensively in this one, but overall, what are you expecting from Mahomes and the Chiefs offense against this Ravens defense on Sunday?
I expect them to continue what they did week one. Obviously after, a slow start, they kind of got going, and when the Chiefs get going and Mahomes gets going, everyone's wide open. Some of those throws were amazing, and Travis Kelce has to be a big part of that. He needs to continue to work the middle of the field, those intermediate to short routes, and make guys miss and get first downs and get him in rhythm, and then you'll see the big throws to Tyreek Hill down the field. But again, it seems right now the Baltimore Ravens are a beat-up football team. They lost Marcus Peters. You lost a lot of guys on offense. They're just a beat-up football team right now. They have to try to find a way to affect the quarterback. So they're going to send blitzes and different things. But like you just said, Patrick Mahomes is great against the blitz. He understands the blitz. And then let's not forget, Orlando Brown, who was there, knows this team like the back of his hand. So that's going to be another advantage for the Kansas City Chiefs. The key is to continue to grow throughout this offense. I thought, over the last couple of years, you see the Chiefs start slow, then they pick it up. Well, eventually they're going to have to start fast, right? And if you can start fast, it'll help out. The starting slow hurt them in the Super Bowl. So I know they're working on being better on first downs in the first quarter, being better on second downs in the first quarter, not trying to go 3 and out, not giving the ball back to the opposing offense. So it's going to be important this week that they do that, because, again, the way the Baltimore Ravens want to play football, the way they want to run the ball, they want to try to keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes.
And one way to keep growing that offense and to win on first down is running the football and also throwing the football to your running backs. We saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire have a great game against the Ravens last year, had over 130 yards of total offense. He was a factor in the running game and the passing game on screens and just lining up as a wide receiver. You know Clyde better than anybody in terms of his style of play. How can what he can do be a countermeasure to that Ravens pass rush on Sunday?
Well, that's the key, being able to be balanced. And that's why the Kansas City Chiefs went out this offseason and rebuilt a whole offensive line. They had some big run plays against the Cleveland Browns. They got to continue to do those type of things. You got to utilize him in the screen game when they're blitzing so he can find his way out, throw short passes to him, stretch him horizontally so that, when they do blitz, you just get the ball out quick. He's one-on-one and he can go. And so Clyde is a huge part of this offense, all right? In order for this offense to really maximize their potential and their ability, Clyde is a big key to that, right? Obviously, you have Tyreek Hill, you can stretch the field, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. You have all these other guys that have their role. But the one role that the Chiefs have always been missing is a guy on 4th and 1, on 3rd and 1, they could turn around and hand the ball to. Last year they tried it. It didn't work out. Offensive line had some issues, so they go out and rebuild a whole new offensive line. And all of a sudden these guys are playing better. So I'm excited to kind of see how this is going to work out. But you have to find ways to get 4 yards. You have to find ways to get 5 yards on first and second down to get into 3rd and medium so that you can have your whole playbook up. You don't want to be in 3rd and 10 with this Baltimore Ravens team, even though the Chiefs have been in 3rd and 10 and they've thrown touchdowns, right? You don't want to live in that arena. You don't want to live in that area. You want to be able to be efficient and be a very scary offense. If you could run the ball and you could throw the ball, you could play action pass, then all of a sudden you have the defense on their heels and not on their toes as aggressive as they've been.
Well, one underrated aspect of this offensive line is they're athletic. They can get out and move in space. So looking forward to seeing if that screen game is a factor on Sunday Night Football. Now, looking at the Ravens, you mentioned how beat up they are. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, both out for the season. That's a huge loss for this team. They rushed for 3,000 yards as a team last year. That led the NFL, but Dobbins and Edwards accounted for half of that. So that's a huge, huge loss. They're still going to do what they do, though, with their scheme. They're going to run the football a ton, and it all begins with Lamar Jackson. We know what kind of player he is. He's dynamic. He can run. He can throw. He can do it all. I know when you watch Lamar, it's kind of obvious what he can do, but from your perspective, what makes him so special, and how can the Chiefs contain him on Sunday?
Well, this is the thing, right? The Chiefs are the Ravens right now. They have an issue, an identity issue. They threw the ball way too much against the Las Vegas Raiders. If they ran the ball a little bit more, I thought they would have came out victorious in that game. But they don't know what they have. They can't trust some of these runners. So Latavius Murray's new. Le'Veon Bell's new, Devontae Freeman's new. So they got to make sure they get those guys practice. So I think you're going to see the Baltimore Ravens throw the ball a little bit more because they feel like they're more explosive on the outside than they are in the backfield. And even with that makes Lamar even scarier, right? Because now he's dropping back. Guys are getting to their pass rush lanes. If you get out of the way, if you clear him, he's going to take off. And so what makes him special is his dynamic speed, his vision, his athletic ability, his ability to still throw the ball on the run, rolling left or right. Very similar to Patrick Mahomes, not the same arm talent, but a better runner. And so that's always tough for a defense. If you're in 3rd and 11 and he scrambles for 12 yards, that just frustrates the defense. He can do that the whole time. So you got to make sure you have a spy on him. Even though that spy's probably not going to be as fast as he is, you got to make sure you have someone spying him, keeping him in the pocket, forcing him to throw from the pocket. If you force him to throw from the pocket and allow your rush to get there, I think you have a chance. And that's kind of what the Vegas Raiders did towards the end of the game. But this is the other thing about Lamar. When they do decide to run the ball, he becomes a factor. Now you have to play 11-on-11 football. You have to account for him all the time, which opens up holes for the running backs. And this week they brought up Devontae Freeman, so they're going to give him a chance to run the ball a little bit. I'm sure in the next coming weeks they'll bring in Le'Veon Bell, which you guys all know about him and what his abilities can be. And so that's going to kind of will it work out? And so I know with both Latavius Murray, who I played with, Le'Veon Bell, who I know really well, and Devontae Freeman, if they can get that same style going, it may not work early in the season. The good thing the Chiefs are playing them early because it's not going to be as stressful in the defense. But late in the year, you're going to have 3 guys who can all tote the rock running with Lamar Jackson, and they'll be healthier as well. So it's going to be an interesting scene to see how it works. But for the Chiefs right now, you just want to make sure you stay in your pass rush lanes. You don't want them to get like a free hole to go through. You want to make sure that you collapse the pocket and you keep him in the pocket and he has to throw through the big guys in the middle. And if you can do that, you'll have a great opportunity to slow him down.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how their scheme evolves as the season goes on. But like you said, week 2, a lot of those guys are new, so it really all comes down to Lamar. Lamar's a winner. We've seen that during his career, but for what it's worth, he's only lost 8 regular season games in his career, but 3 of them to the Kansas City Chiefs. So hoping to make it 4 here on Sunday, which leads me to my final question here for you, Maurice. Game prediction time. Who wins the game on Sunday, and what's the final score?
Oh, listen, I got the Chiefs winning big on this one. I just think it's too much offense going on. You know I'm a Chiefs fan. You guys know that. It's one of those things. But I just think you saw the Ravens struggle against the Vegas Raiders. I mean, struggle badly, both offensively and defensively. If you want to play press man, it's not going to work against the Chiefs. If you want to play zone, it's not going to work against the Chiefs. If you want to play a light box, it's not going to work against the Chiefs. If you want to load the box, it's not going to work. So it's going to be on that offense to kind of try to put pressure, but they don't have the pieces to do it. So I think the Chiefs win 42-20.
All right, love hearing that. Need to get you a Chiefs jersey, man.
I do. I mean, with my old 32, I know that's Tyrann Mathieu, but 32 Jones-Drew on the back is good. Make sure you tell Bieniemy I said hello and Andy Reid and everybody, please.